So this is gonna be a little bit different from what I usually do. Hi, hello. As you can probably tell from the title of this video, I went into 500 co-op showrooms in Project Sekai, or Colorful Stage, however you refer to it. Well, 500 was the original goal, and I ended up overshooting that a little bit and doing 520 instead, 260 each in general rooms and pro rooms. First, I'll explain what I did since it was rather simple. I used the screen recorder on my tablet to record each room that I went into. For the most part, I only recorded from entering the room to when the game loaded to go into the chart for the song that was chosen. I would then look back at the recording and note down which songs people chose in each room, as well as which song was actually selected by the roulette wheel or whatever for the people in the room to play. And I did this for over 500 rooms total, as I already said at the beginning, and this whole process took me at least a few weeks, maybe a month or more. I actually can't remember. I don't know when I started. I just know it ended I don't know, a week ago at this point, so it was very long and tedious, and it took me a while to get done. In addition to which songs people selected for each room and which ones were chosen for people to play, I also paid attention to disbands, when the room would disband, most often because someone disconnected for whatever reason. And I also tried to guess what reason there was behind each room that disbanded, and obviously I can't tell exactly because it's not like I can go to the person who disconnected and ask, hey, why did you disconnect? But there were three main, or just three categories in general for disbands that I could come up with. For one, I could guess if someone disbanded because they didn't like the song that was chosen. I could guess if someone disbanded because the game was taking too long to load, and then the third category, I just could not find a clear reason for the room disbanding. But that's all I've got to say for this preface or intro to this whole thing, so I'm going to start with going over my findings in the general rooms, and then I'll go on to the pro rooms after that. In general rooms, there is a total of 721 songs selected over the course of 260 rooms, which averages out to about 2.7 songs per room. I also took note of how often people chose recommended instead of choosing a song. In 56 rooms, I was the only person that chose recommended, and to add this as another note, in every single room that I did for this little experiment, I chose recommended. I never chose a song even once. In 117 rooms, 2 people chose recommended. In 62 rooms, 3 chose recommended. In 17 rooms, 4 chose recommended, and in general rooms, there was only 1 room where all 5 people chose recommended, and the song that the game randomized to was The Intense Voice of Hatsune Miku. You might look at these numbers of times that people chose recommended and think, hey, that doesn't add up to 260, and you would be right. They add up to 253, and that's because there were 7 rooms that disbanded before they even got to the song selection stage, and I suspect that's because most of those disbands occurred because someone left the room right as the game was about to progress to the song selection, which caused the room to disband. And speaking of rooms disbanding, in general rooms, there were 50 rooms that disbanded. For 21 of those, I guessed that it was because someone did not like the song that was chosen. 14 of those disbands were because the game was taking far too long to load and someone got sick of it. And for the last 15, I couldn't really think of a solid reason, although 7 of them could be the same, or probably actually were the same as the rooms that I mentioned just a moment ago, where someone left as the game was about to progress to the song selection. I divided all of the songs that were chosen into 7 different units, and 5 of these units were named after the group that the song was covered by or commissioned for. I also grouped together songs that only have a virtual singer version, and there's finally the other unit, which is just the 3 mixed unit songs that are in the game. Among these units, there was a very clear bias in the songs that people chose. Virtual singer only songs were chosen 202 times. Night Credit 25 songs were chosen 138 times. Wonderland's X Showtime songs were chosen 125 times. Vivid Bad Squad songs were chosen 116 times. Leonid songs were chosen 73 times, One More Jump songs 63 times, and other songs only 4 times. But other as a unit only includes 3 songs, so I don't find it too surprising that the number is so low. I'll set aside the virtual singer only songs because I think a pretty decent portion of the songs in the game are virtual singer only, so it's not surprising that they made up such a huge portion of the songs that were chosen, so we'll only focus on the other units. With The virtual singer-only songs set aside, Night Court at 25 seems to be the most popular group in general rooms, and More Jump is the least popular. In fact, N25 songs were chosen more than twice as often as MMJ songs. Now I'll go over the 3 most chosen songs for each unit. The most popular songs for Leonid were Lost Ones Weeping with 13 appearances, followed by 6 Trillion Years, An Overnight Story, and Roki, each with 8 appearances. Although they were chosen by people the same number of times, the song wheel landed on 6 Trillion Years 3 times and Roki only 2 times, so I consider 6 Trillion Years as ranking higher than Roki for that reason. For More Jump, the most popular song was Milk Crown on Sonechka, which was chosen 7 times. It was followed by More Jump More and Happy Halloween, both of which were selected 6 times and had the wheel land on them 2 times, so they completely tied. Vivid Bad Squad's most popular song was, probably unsurprisingly, Ifudodo with 26 appearances. It was followed by Bring It On with 18 appearances and Dr. Funk Beat with 9. Wonderland's X Showtime's most popular song was, again, unsurprisingly, Tondemo Wonders with 28 appearances. Coming second after it was Showtime Ruler with 13 appearances, and then Positive Dance Time with 11. The most popular Night Court at 25 song was Venom with 25 appearances, followed by Bitter Choco Decoration with 15, and then Reborn with 14. The most popular virtual singer-only song was Machine Gun Poem Doll with 26 appearances. Next were Intense Voice of Hatsune Miku and End of Hatsune Miku with 19 and 12 appearances respectively. And the most popular song in the other category was Wah Wah World with 3 appearances, followed by Sekai with 1. And now here are the top 10 songs chosen overall, irrespective of unit. Tondemo Wonders with 28, Ifudodo with 26, Machine Gun Poem Doll with 26, Venom with 25, The Intense Voice of Hatsune Miku with 19, Bring It On with 18, Bitter Choco Decoration with 15, Reborn with 14, Lost Ones Weeping with 13, and Showtime Ruler with 13. There were 15 songs that I never saw even once in general rooms, and these songs are as follows: Night Sky Patrol of Tomorrow, Needle, Nostalgic, Ghost City Tokyo, Forward, Sweet Magic, Hello How Are You, Otome Dissection, Because You're Here, Hello Planet, Hibikase, Bless Your Breath, Odds and Ends, Greenlight Serenade, and Gunjo Sanka. That's about all I've got to say on the general rooms, so now let's move over to the pro rooms because there were some pretty big differences there. In pro rooms, a total of 575 songs were selected, which averages out to about 2.2 songs per room. People were far more likely to choose recommended over selecting a song in pro rooms. In only 19 pro rooms, I was the only person who chose recommended. 2 people chose recommended in 88 rooms, 3 in 86 rooms, 4 in 40 rooms, and all 5 in 13 rooms. In the instances where all 5 people chose recommended, a different song was selected each and every time, with the exception of one song, which was Hello Planet, which showed up twice. There were also fewer disbands in pro rooms than in general rooms. I counted a total of 32 disbands. 21 of these were because someone didn't like the song that was chosen, 3 were for long loading times, and for the remaining 8, I could not find a reason. I used the same units for songs in pro rooms as the general rooms. Virtual singer-only songs were still chosen the most, with 159 appearances. After that was Wonderland's X Showtime with 96 appearances. Next was Night Court at 25 with 83, then Vivid Bad Squad with 80, then Leonid and More Jump both with 74. The other unit also had 9 appearances, which was twice as much as in the general rooms. The unit rankings for pro rooms are mostly the same as for general rooms, with the notable exception of Wonderland's X Showtime and Night Court 25 swapping places. There were also fewer appearances in terms of songs for each unit just overall because more people chose recommended in pro rooms. And now onto the 3 most popular songs for each unit, but in the pro rooms this time. For Leonid, the most popular songs were 6 Trillion Years, An Overnight Story with 10 appearances, Teo with 9, and Ray with 8. For More Jump, it was Romeo and Cinderella with 10, Marsh Marie with 9, Milk Crown on Sonechka with 7. Vivid Bad Squads were Devil's Manor with 13, and then Alter Ego and Ifudodo both with 8. Wonderland's X Showtime had Becoming Potatoes with 12, Tondemo Wonders with 10, and Your Adventure Log Has Vanished with 9. Night Court at 25s were Hitorinbo Envy with 17, Venom with 10, and Bitter Choco Decoration with 7. The most popular virtual singer-only songs were Sick of House with 23 appearances, Heike Doppelganger with 11, and Machine Gun Poem Doll with 10. The most most popular other song was Gunjo Sanka with 5 appearances, followed by Sekai with 4. For the most popular songs overall, I've compiled the 5 most popular for pro rooms rather than the 10 that I used in general rooms, and that's because outside of the top 5, numbers 6 through 10 were all tied with 10 appearances each, so I'm just sticking to the top 5. And these top 5 songs are Sick of House with 23 appearances, Heat Rainbow Envy with 17, Devil's Manor with 13, Becoming Potatoes with 12, and High K Doppelganger with 11. Just like with general rooms, there were 15 songs I never saw in the pro rooms, and these songs were Time Machine, From Y to Y, Stella, Stage of Sekai, Love Trial, Nostalgic, Hello How Are You, Alive, Copycat, Highlight, Leia Remind, Next Nest, Gimme X Gimme, Greenlight Serenade, and Wah Wah World. One thing I do want to note is that Stage of Sekai was added after I was already done gathering information on the pro rooms and had moved on to completing the general rooms instead, so that could be a, pretty good reason why I never saw it in the pro rooms. But that is it for the pro rooms. There's clearly some differences between general rooms and pro rooms, and I highlighted most of these as I was going over the information on the pro rooms. The biggest differences to me seem to be that people in pro rooms choose recommended far more often than in general rooms, and the most popular songs overall seem to vary quite a bit. I don't know why I said that like I was about to say something else, but moving on. One thing I do want to mention is that I personally only disbanded a room once in all of the 520 rooms that I was in. The room I disbanded was in a pro room, and I disconnected because the song wheel landed on Sick of House for the 3rd time in the past 4 shows, and I was just really tired of playing it. There were 3 songs that never appeared in general or pro rooms, so I never saw these ones at all. Nostalgic, Hello How Are You, and Greenlight Serenade. This is a personal thing, but I think the songs that annoyed me the most were Sick of House, obviously, because it was the only one I disbanded on, Tundemo Wonders, and Machine Gun Poem Doll. And I want to add a bit of a note about Machine Gun Poem Doll, and not just it, but some of the other really hard songs in the game, especially Intense Voice and End of Hatsune Miku. The vast majority of the time, when someone chooses one of these songs, one of the really, really hard songs in the game, and the wheel lands on it, the person who chose the song plays on hard. I've said this same general sort of idea on Twitter before, but I'm going to say it here. If you're going to be that person who chooses one of the hardest songs in the game, which also happen to be some of the most frequently chosen songs in the game, the least you can do is play on expert, because choosing hard is the coward's way. Either you play on expert and you fucking commit by not disconnecting if you die, or you don't choose the song at all. That's all I've got to say on all of this, though. I just thought it would be kind of neat to, go through a whole bunch of general and pro rooms and take note of what songs people chose and disbanding and whatnot. I probably will never do this again, even when other songs get added to the game, because this was so annoying and tedious that I do not want to deal with it ever again. But anyway, thank you for sticking around if you have watched this long. I hope you found this interesting in some way or another. But yeah, that is it from me for now, so have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.